Are you nervous on set? Are you nervous the day before shooting? Are you nervous as soon as you finished because you realize that, oh man, they might have not gotten what you promised them? As a photographer, the nervousness is a good thing. It shows that you care. But I want to take this video to share with you that there are ways to unlock that confidence and will make you a much, much better photographer if you stick to them. Let's get into it. Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Sergio and I'm a commercial photographer here in Victoria, BC, and I've been shooting for a little over a decade now, which has helped with my confidence showing up on set. The more and more you shoot, the more you're comfortable with being in uncomfortable situations. Over time, you'll kind of get used to them. But if you're nervous, if you're showing up to your set, or if that your model just texted you, say, hey, I'm on my way, and then your heart drops and you start getting real nervous, you're like, oh man, now it's go time. Now I actually have to get it done. Is my light right? Did I forget any SD card? Did I forget my one-man photo plate and I can't use the tripod now? All of those things is normal. It shows you care. It shows that you're maybe underprepared, but it does show that you care, that you want to make sure that you give the best that you can to your clients. And that's a good thing. I want you to hold on to that as long as possible. But usually fear and nervousness comes from the unknown. It comes from not being 100% sure of the outcome or what's going to happen. And when there's two people in the room, that's always going to happen because you can't tell the future. You can't make sure that you know absolutely exactly which shot you're going to get, even if you have a shot list, even if you have all of these things. So there is nerves that are, going to take place, and that's normal. And I want you to be okay with that. But having mental fights with yourself and being in a way where you're like, oh, I can't do this because they're totally not going to like me, and then being like your own worst critic, your own worst enemy, is not doing anything for anybody. It's not going to benefit your photography, and it's definitely not going to get that person to book with you a second time. If you're stumbling and fumbling and screwing up everywhere because you're too nervous, you need to take a little bit of a step back and understand that, okay, in order to move forward, in order to be a better photographer, I need to take care of this. I need to make sure that I can handle the situation in which I'm in. So the most important thing to do is to just start and to put yourself in those situations as often as possible. The scariest thing of any venture is starting. The scariest part about going to the gym is thinking that other people are going to ridicule you because you don't know what you're doing at the gym. And that's what we get faced with as photographers every single day. Every time we show up to a set, we're like starting from scratch. We're like, okay, we have no final edits. We have no final shots. They're expecting me to have all of these final shots. How am I going to achieve it? It's nervous. It's nerve-wracking. It's normal. I get it. But by putting yourself in the situation often, more and more often, especially if it's unpaid, like if you have a paid gig coming up, do a couple of unpaid gigs before. Put yourself in the situation that you might be in, whether that's outside, whether that's sunset, whether that's in a studio. Make sure that if you're going to a paid gig, that whatever that situation is isn't the first time you've handled it. Whether that's with your friends or with your own studio, whatever it may be, but showing up with the confidence of having already done something and knowing that, oh, okay, well, I know I can at least fall back on this because I know that works and this works, so I can just do that, will help you with your nerves, will help with that confidence over time. Like I said, I've been doing this for a little over 10 years now, like 13 years at this point, and there are not a whole lot of situations that I haven't found myself in. So the nerves and the scariness are usually inexistent. I might be anxious to get something done because I'm excited because it's new and I'm excited to try it, but I'm not nervous about it. I'm not nervous that I won't get the final shots because I've put myself in that situation so many times. I've been scared and nervous enough times that I'm not scared and nervous anymore. So if you are still at that area, if you're still kind of like unsure and second guessing yourself, just keep doing it. That's fine. Just keep going more and more and more. Having systems put in place that help with your peace of mind and that help with your workflow are going to ultimately be a much better thing for your photography than pretty much any shot of tequila that you can do before your shoot. Whether you have to pre-light something in your studio or you have to work with friends to try to get that banter going, or you just want to be a little bit more comfortable with people that you've never met and trying to make them feel comfortable, you just have to do it. You have to put yourself in that situation. You have to pay if you have to put yourself in that situation before the paid client. Because ultimately you want to give yourself a bunch of room, ample amounts of room for that error that might occur. If you can make those errors before the client, you won't be as nervous when the client shows up because you know that if you make that error, you know how to deal with it. You know how to come up with that solution to the problem that they might be having. Having a few set shots to fall back on You know, like if I'm starting out with a shoot with whomever, the first couple shots are almost throwaways. Like everything I do, whether that's an architecture shoot, or whether I'm shooting portraits, or whether I'm shooting, branding stuff with a company, I'm never going to start with the most important shot. The first shots are extra ones that I just thought up on the set. Oh, this is pretty, man. Let's just try this. Let's try this. Let's try this. Because oftentimes they're not going to work. And that's okay. Like, that's part of why we're shooting digital nowadays. I mean, I know some of you still shoot film, but like, I rather just put a film filter on it and make my images look like film, and I get to shoot 300 of them than just the one. But whatever, that's neither here nor there. Actually, you know what? Maybe if you're shooting film and you're nervous on your shoots, stop shooting film. Maybe that's a good one. But even if you're shooting digital, okay, like one of the things that helps me a lot as a photographer is to just tell myself the worst possible things. All right. Like if you've ever been bullied, if you had an older brother growing up, or if you were the short kid in class, whatever it may be, if you've ever been bullied, take those voices and throw them back in your head and bully yourself until you realize those are the things you don't want to be doing. Oh, he's always showing up late, and his hair always looks crazy, and his shots are always crooked, and whatever those things are, tell them to yourself so that you can get over that fear before you show up on set. Nobody is going to be as mean to you as you can be to yourself, okay? Speaking from experience. It prepares you for all of the fear and the judgment that you think you might be getting, because oftentimes it's just in your head anyway. It's not real. It's not like it's sure, I'm not going to say that the bullying doesn't exist, but oftentimes we are our own worst enemy. So putting yourself in a situation where you're kind of scared and nervous, and then coming out from it, getting through it, realizing, oh, maybe it wasn't as bad as I would have thought, or I was catastrophizing it a little bit too much in my head. But by doing that, it'll prepare you that when you're in those situations, you'll be like, oh, actually, it wasn't that bad. And by doing it a second time, you can be like, oh, actually, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. And over time, you'll realize, you know what, maybe I'm not so nervous anymore, because I've already told myself all of the worst things that could have happened, and they consistently keep not happening. So maybe it's just in my head. Maybe it's not as big of a deal as I thought it was. Being nervous on set is normal, and I think it's a good thing. It'll help you be a better photographer because it shows you care. It shows you want to be more prepared. But by over-preparing, by already being your own worst enemy, by doing these things that will, coming up with systems so that you know what you can achieve in the time frame that you're set to achieve it, will help reduce that anxiety and will ultimately make you a better photographer. Thanks for watching. I hope you got a little bit of something out of this one. Maybe leave a like on your way out and subscribe if you're new here. And I'll see you guys in a couple days. Later.